All right, guys. So much like with what happened with Go Tanks, they released the character spotlight for God of Destruction Toppo when I was asleep. So I'm literally just waking up right now, and we're gonna break down what God of Destruction Toppo can do in Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra. But note that this wouldn't have been possible without the help of the Squadra Creators Program. Of course, I'm in that program, and because of that, it allows me to break down this type of content early for you guys. So again, shout outs to them. But also, I want to note, I want to make sure I get this out the way at the beginning this time, that I cannot have this gameplay up by itself. I have to be in the way of the content, which is why my, face cam is on the left side of the screen. And that's also why I break down the details of the character as well. But just want to get that out the way before anybody says anything. But either way, God of Destruction Toppo, character spotlight. Let's see what he can do. I'm terrified, honestly.
I've made up my mind.
Okay, let's see. He's gonna be powerful, bro.
There is only being and the absence of being.
All right, let's see.
I'm done fighting for justice.
Bro just came through like freight train.
Only destruction.
Okay. Oh, multi-targeting. Okay. Gone.
The power of destruction.
Okay, let's see. So we have God Destruction Toppo. I won't be fighting for justice any longer. Alright, movement speed up to self. Okay. With the Mark of Destruction. Okay. Rush attack. Physical attack. Extends the duration of the Mark of Destruction. And shortens skill. Oh. Destructive Flash. Okay. Okay. Demolition Tornado. That's definitely new. So yeah, it's literally just his justice moves, but just names differently. Sphere of Destruction Tempered. The fact that that's multi-hitting is actually terrifying. Uh-oh. Massive Sphere of Destruction. Oh. Okay, yeah, he's looking a little bit strong. All right, let's break that down. So I'm actually kind of terrified. Let's see. So we have God of Destruction Toppo. All right, so of course he is a damage character, a God of Destruction who deals constant damage through branding enemies with the Mark of Destruction. Seize victory for your team by denying enemies their escape and steadily whittling away their strength. Okay, I don't know why, like, it seems a lot less aggressive of a playstyle than I thought he'd be, which is, it is what it is. Anyway, passive. I won't be fighting for justice any longer. Implies movement speed up to self when moving towards enemies with the Mark of Destruction. The effect is greater the more the Mark of Destruction stacks there are. Okay. And from what it seems like, practically all of his moves apply that. So if you have a Mark of Destruction on you, Toppo's going to be able to catch you. Now, I think what would be really insane is how fast of a movement buff he actually gets. Because if it's to the point where he's actually able to catch technical characters, that's going to be terrifying. Because if I recall correctly, the current fastest character in the game is Frieza. So if it's to the point where you apply that and you're able to catch characters like Frieza, that's scary. That's going to be very scary. So again, we'll have to see when the character drops, but as right now, that's actually pretty good. Okay, so let's go ahead and move that forward. All right, so rush attack, physical attack, extends the duration of Mark of Destruction and shortens skill cooldowns. Super attacks excluded when hitting an enemy with Mark of Destruction. Shortens cooldowns more when the target is an enemy hero. The more Mark of Destruction stacks there are, the more cooldowns are shortened. Wait, am I reading that right? It says shortens cooldowns more when the target is an enemy hero. So, wait, are your teammates able to... Like, this is what I'm trying to understand with this. It says shortens cooldowns more when the target is an enemy hero, which would imply that your enemies, or not your enemies, sorry, your teammates are able to get the Mark of Destruction as well. Now, I don't know if that's necessarily like if it happens with you, right? or if your enemy uses a Toppo as well, and then you also get the benefit, that's not explained, right? But it's implied that your teammates can also have it as well. We just don't know if it will happen from you using your moves, or if the opponent has Toppo and they use their moves, and your teammates also get the Mark of Destruction. However, it does still state that your skill cooldowns go down, which means that you have a higher probability, I should say, of being able to get your skills off over and over and over and over again. So even if Toppo's moves aren't the strongest in the world, the fact of you having the opportunity of using them in repetition makes them deadly, and that's very terrifying. So, and on top of that, if his rush damage is good, then that's also going to be, kind of scary. All right, so that was rush attack. Moving on. All right, destructive flash. See if I can get a frame where it's just like shooting out. All right, there we go. All right, destructive flash. Fire a barrage of energy blasts in a set direction. Applies Mark of Destruction to enemies. Hit can move while attacking. Okay, so that's good. In a sense, in terms of it being a projectile, you can well, I'm assuming it'll be similar in type of, or in terms of like movement, if you will, with like a Zamasu's projectile, right? Where he's able to move a little bit when he's firing his off. It'll probably be like similar movement with Toppo, which is good, because the one thing that you really don't want to have with a character is just them being stationary. Now, there are characters that are like an exception to that, right? Good example of that would be Super Saiyan Goku. Kamehameha, you're stationary, but the blast is like, the radius is like enormous. So with him, people are probably not going to approach him if he fires off Kamehameha if you're positioned well. But apart from things like that, you want to make sure that you're moving, so that way you're not stuck in a position where you can just get annihilated by like your enemy team. So not bad. And of course, it applies to Mark of Destruction, which means that even if they try to run away, Toppo will have a better opportunity of being able to catch them, which is good. Okay, so that was skill 1. And then skill 2. Demolition Tornado. Rapidly rotate to deal a series of strike attacks to the surrounding area. Applies Mark of Destruction to enemies on hit, and deals more damage to the Mark of Destruction stacks. Deals more damage the more Mark of Destruction stacks there are. Can move while attacking. Okay, so already getting more benefits with the Mark of Destruction. So again, this is an AoE, so if anybody's in the way, they'll all get hit, right? Of course, applies Mark of Destruction, but now you get like a damage buff, right? It's not just movement anymore. So you get a damage buff the more Mark of Destruction stacks there are. So I believe we did see, I forgot if it was from the flash move, like his projectile, where we saw like a character had more stacks than just one, right? Both of these guys right now just have one stack, which is, it is what it is. But you attack more, you apply more stacks, you deal more damage. So this could be a very, very powerful tool for crowd control. Because let's say that you're in a team fight, everybody's going ballistic, you throw this out, and you get a few stacks off, and now you're dealing more damage, right? So, and not only that, if you get your rush attack off afterwards, then your skills will start coming back quicker. So then maybe you can throw out another one pretty soon, and then add more stacks. And then if they start running away, since they have more stacks, you'll be able to catch them faster. So that's actually pretty good. So again, a solid crowd control move, which is not bad. All right, and then after that, we have skill 3, Sphere of Destruction Tempered. Assume a fighting stance and unleash an unavoidable energy blast against nearby enemies who attack during it. Applies Mark of Destruction to enemies hit. Gains extra HP. Oh, Lord. Okay. Gains extra HP as well as energy defense up in this stance. The more you are attacked while in this stance, the more damage dealt. Oh, no. Okay, so, like, the moment I saw that Toppo was a damage character instead of a tank, I said that he's definitely going to have a tanky move. This is it. This is it. Like, you attack Toppo during this. Oh, Lord. Okay. Or we'll just break down everything individually. So, of course, all of his moves just seem to apply Mark of Destruction. We know the benefits of certain moves that, applies that effect on enemies. Again, movement speed, extra damage, and now you gain extra HP and energy defense up, which is going to be very, very strong. Again, he's going to be like that tanky DPS character, right? Where you probably don't want to approach him, especially if you're alone. That might not be the best case scenario. Again, he uses this move, he practically becomes a tank, he gets HP, energy defense up, and the more you attack him, the more damage the move is going to deal. So be very careful. Like super like aggressive characters, one of which comes to mind would be Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Using instant transmission Kamehameha on Toppo would be a very big mistake if he has this move, because he pops this move, he gets extra health, and it's going to deal extra damage. For all we know, you do something like that to Toppo, this move can wipe you out. So that is the one character you don't want to use instant transmission Kamehameha on, unless you know for a fact you can probably like get a kill off or whatever the case may be. You want to be very, very careful when it comes down to approaching Toppo. You approach him incorrectly, you're gone. And that's not going to be good. And if you try to run away afterwards, he's going to catch you. So be careful with that. And then finally, his super attack, Massive Sphere of Destruction. Unleash a sphere filled with destructive energy at a set position. The sphere contracts on impact, finishing with an explosion that deals extra damage. If the enemy has a mark of destruction when hit by the explosion, the entire mark of destruction stack will be consumed to deal extra damage. Deals more extra damage the more stacks there are. So that's gonna be the main thing with Toppo. Stack as much marks of destruction as possible, right? Because there's too many benefits that happen from stacking all of that, right? Movement speed, apparently HP, energy defense up, extra damage, like all that stuff, right? The more stacks you have on your opponents, the harder or actually not even just the harder, the more stacks that you have on your opponent, the better this character will perform. So you want to make sure that you stack them as often as possible. And again, just the benefit of being able to have those skills like cool down like faster, right? So let's say like it would normally take like 10 seconds, right? To get one of your moves back. You start doing your rush attack, and then that meter just starts burning faster and faster, and then you get your skill back in 7 seconds instead of 10 seconds. Bam, throw it back out, add another stack, get all the benefits, and then you have your super attack, throw it out, and let's say you have like 4 stacks on your enemy, it's gonna deal crazy damage. And then after that, you kind of either pick them off, or maybe it wipes them out, or whatever the case may be. Just this character, it's weird because in a sense, you do have to play them slightly patient, because you can't just blitz in immediately, right? You have to set them up and then afterwards go in for the big damage. So again, play a bit patient with Toppo, get those stacks on your enemies, and then once you have enough stacks, then go in for the kill. I think the other thing is, how long do those stacks stay on the characters for? Because if it's just like for a few seconds, then you're gonna have to be a lot more aggressive. But if it's for a decent amount of time, or until you get those stacks off, then at that point, yeah, he's gonna be terrifying. Again, there's a lot more details that we are missing with Toppo, but from what it looks like, he is gonna be a pretty powerful character. And especially like if it's anything like how Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Super Saiyan Gotenks are, he's definitely gonna be good. But I'm excited. I'm glad that we have this gameplay out now to break down, because if we have this now, I'm assuming we're getting him sooner than we thought. I thought we'd get him like in a few weeks, but if we're getting this now, I'm assuming that he's coming out pretty soon, and I'm excited for it. But I do want to know what you guys think about God of Destruction Toppo in Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra in the comment section below. With that being said, I'm Ndukauba. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.